See, look, I came out of the TARDIS because that's on topic with the video I am making. Or, well, rather, the video you're now watching, because from your point of view, it's already made. Hello, people of the interwebs. My name is Reese. It's spelt the proper way, and I am finally making a damn video on YouTube after spending years of just existing and changing my icon constantly and intending to do something, but never actually doing it. That changes today. Because today's Doctor Who Day, and Doctor Who is my favorite franchise of all time, even when it's bad. So I figured for funsies, I'm just gonna randomly talk about it for about 12-ish minutes, and then we'll see what happens. So, yeah! The funniest thing about Doctor Who to me is the fact that I live in a country which makes being a fan of it really inconvenient. Literally all the stuff I do, from collecting to binge-watching to reading to listening to fantasizing, is surprisingly a bit hard because most crap either takes forever to release or is trapped in the holy hellish grave I like to call the UK. I mean, this is my favorite show ever, and 90% of the things I wish I could have, I can't have. I legally can't even write for the show if I wanted to, and as a person who wants to be a wannabe writer, let me tell you, that information slightly hurt. Luckily, I bet that rule will be broken one day, and plus, that doesn't apply to expanded media. However, considering I'm only just starting out, it'll take a while. So I have to be content with fanfiction and what content does release here. And good news on that front, there is still a lot. There are books, comics, audios, and no episodes of the TV show. I have lots of options. Yeah, by the way, I live in Canada, and streaming-wise, I can only find Classic Who on BritBox and New Who on nothing. Meaning I still thank the almighty gods for physical media. If I didn't have this shelf, my world would crumble. Plus, I technically get better quality from watching the stuff on physical media anyway, but I'm just a nerdy fanboy who notices the small things, and normal people tend to not care when they see the very subtle blocks on their streaming service screen. Sadly, the one curse to physical media is that distribution-wise, it takes ages for anything to show up. I'm only now getting the 60th specials on Blu-ray. Thanks a lot, Mickey. But does that mean I have to wait till December of 2025 just to get Season 1? I get it. UK property means that place gets more priority, and I respect that. But man, when UK fans start complaining at airtimes, I feel like they forgot to mention that they literally had the Whoniverse on iPlayer, featuring all the spin-offs and behind-the-scenes shows they could get. Well, meanwhile, I still have to consider sailing the Seven Seas just to find anything of those cut-down edits and Tales of the TARDIS. Just saying, guys, obsessive fans like me are dealing with breadcrumbs, and no offense to where you live, but I sure as hell don't want to be headed to the UK just for a special interest of mine. Anyway, that was a bit ranty. Let's try something a bit more wholesome, like, I got into the show thanks to my mother, who is a huge geek in anything you can think of. I have nostalgic memories of pretending this tree outside my house in my backyard was the TARDIS console, and I would fly it around the universe. And time again, I would always cosplay any version of the character, because honestly, I wasn't really nitpicky of what incarnation I had, as I kind of liked all of them. No joke, the entire show is pretty much my favorite era. I literally sit down and watch any Doctor that is on screen because to me they are all the same person. Because fun fact, guys, they are. Sure, you get differences in personality and even interpretation, but overall it's the same alien from outer space who travels around, or not, for fun. I do have some preferences, I will admit. Like, I'm totally biased and will confidently say something stupid, like how Moffat understood this character better than anyone else. However, that is certainly not a dig at Terrence Dicks, or Robert Holmes, or even Russell and Chibnall. And yes, I said Chibnall. Because they all contributed some of the best stories in the entire series. Some age better than others, but that's just what happens when you have a show that is now 61 years old. The only time I say Moffat wasn't perfect, apart from some of the obvious, is when you compare the show to something like Big Finish, and yeah, depressingly, it's no contest. These guys probably understood this character better than anyone at the BBC. Don't believe me? Come back after you listen to these stories. Just to name a small few, considering I barely even begun to scratch the surface, admittedly. Not even kidding, by the way. Zagreus may be the most insane story ever made, but Scherzo is a life-changing experience. I never saw the Doctor the same way after that, because, oh my god, the story is fantastic, but Jesus Christ, the character is terrifying now. In fact, on the topic of really great stories, here are some of my out-of-nowhere highlights for the franchise in general, because happy birthday to my favorite show and all that. Scratchman made me cry. My favorite interpretation of the Doctor's perspective and thought process. It is the most British thing ever. Best Fourth Doctor story, fight me. Fear of the Dark. Best use of the Fifth Doctor I ever seen since, well, since his last ever story, which is also really good. It has a dark, spooky vibe, which is a huge tonal contrast to our 80s TARDIS team, but somehow it works because it makes you cherish their quirks and personalities as everyone slowly dies around them in the most horrible ways imaginable. Shame this book is written by a transphobe, because I guess we can't just have nice things. Hidden Human History, probably my favorite 13th Doctor story and Doctor Who comic in general. Very wholesome, very unique considering its surprisingly low stakes, and something that only this show could probably do. Engines of War, the book that made me wish that John Hurt had an era of the show. Brutal, fan-servicey in the best ways, and also made me love the Time Lords. Or rather, love to hate the Time Lords. Day of the Doctor novelization. Steven on crack, and it is great. Best insight onto not only how Moffat wrote the show, but how he saw the wider universe and character. Very timey-wimey and loves to mess with your head. Best challenging read ever. Oh, hang on. These are just expanded media. Shit. What about my favorite stuff from the show? Well, what more is there to be said about Waters of Mars, 11th Hour, Heaven Sent, It Takes You Away, and boom. A lot? Oh, right. Different opinions. Duh. In truth, I love almost anything in this series. In fact, I almost love everything this series does. I just really like this show, okay? I will criticize it like every other fan, but even when it's bad, it's still Doctor Who. The character of the Doctor is so fascinating and fun and sad and so much more to even describe in words for me. They're up there along with a lot of my other favorite characters like the Marvel superheroes or Sonic, which I know are also lame dorky things, but come on, some of the best stories, messages, and themes in fiction come from the goofiest of franchises. Because as Robin Hood said to the 12th Doctor,
I'm not a hero.
Well, neither am I. But if we both keep pretending to be, perhaps others will be heroes in our name.
and boy, I couldn't say that better myself, because I basically look up to every single one of my favorite characters. My childhood dream was to always have the Doctor meet other famous heroes, to a point where 90% of my playtime usually revolved around a massive multiversal threat, which would require the help of whoever I had in toy form at the time. Probably going something along the lines of this.
Quick, Miles, chap! We have to save the multiverse from the evil, the demonic, the good old multiversal venom! And if we don't stop him soon, then the entirety of the multiverse will crumble, because the Thomas the Tank Engine, the DC, and Marvel universes will all implode! Doctor, I'm from Asgard. I can handle this because I'm muscular and man-like. Ha! No, Thor, you idiot! We have to beat him with the power of brain. Can I just flip him? I'm Spider-Man. That guy's my bad guy. Nah, I can do this within a flash. All we gotta do is just go back in time every time we make a mistake. I'm here too. Thanks for your contribution, Thomas. I'm happy you were here. No, listen, chaps, there's a better way to do this. I wonder if I'm worthy of Mjolnir. Will you shut up and let me take control of the plot, please? I think we should just web him. No, you idiots! Stop it! The Venom's gonna...
By the way, also on that topic, just trying to get anything merch related to Doctor Who is way more difficult than it has any right to be. I'm lucky to have the 2nd, 4th, and 5th Doctors in action figure form right now, because good grief, these toys are expensive to get here. However, I certainly made do in my life, especially when LEGO released the Doctor Who set, and, well, I certainly was the target audience for that. My crossover stories got way worse and way better from this, by the way.
Whoa, stop the plane, Tails! I've wondered what this, mysterious blue box is. I think we can get inside. Doctor, there seems to be someone outside the TARDIS! Yes, do you not realize that I am noticing this, Clara? You're supposed to be Scottish, why are you not Scottish? Because I am terrible at Scottish accents and there seems to be a giant hand in the way. But don't worry, with the power of the sonic screwdriver, I should be able to lock us inside the TARDIS for good. Hey, what's going on, in here? And oh my god, it's big! Yes, it's dimensionally transcendental. And I'm falling off the TARDIS. What the hell is a TARDIS?
Hell, even before that, I had this Matt Smith plush. He was fun. I gave him a cat companion. And later on in life, I got this guy. He's a Dalek. His name is Pickles. But as you can see, the show really is just my special interest, my love, and my life. It's to a point where people in real life basically have to know this fact because it's hard to see myself without it. And to this day, I can't tell if that's really unhealthy or just being autistic. However, some of my best friends in life certainly didn't seem to care, and probably I shouldn't either. Just let people like what they like, you know? Besides, it's pretty obvious I don't just like Doctor Who. I also consider myself to be a huge comic book nerd, considering, well, except that would be changing the main topic of this video, and this video is already bouncy enough. This show is just important to me, which is ridiculous to say, but seriously, the character, the morals, the time travel all had a huge impact on me from such a young age that I'm shocked I haven't successfully made one piece of fanfiction of it yet. Okay, correction. One piece of finished fanfiction. I did also play the character on stage for a final assignment in my dramatic arts class, and that involved writing a whole script, so that certainly was finished. Creatively, though, it mainly inspired my topics and interests and more original content that I've made rather than just straight up doing stuff within the universe. And while on this channel it certainly doesn't look it, I have made tons and tons of stuff over my life. I just never really shared any of it outside of some close friends. Maybe that'll change now since I decided to bite the bullet and release this, but I don't know. It all depends. Life is unpredictable. I do know for a fact, though, that if I finish some more original content, i.e., you know, comic books, I do like to do that sort of thing. Cool. I am sharing it. No more hiding away from the world. I'm a dork with lots of creativity and a slightly sheltered life, and I'm proud of it, damn it! And it all begins with the same old love for my favorite show ever. A show that has been there for me since childhood. A show which has had the 13th Doctor as the current Doctor during my puberty, so you can imagine how well that went. But a show which seemingly is never going to leave me anytime soon. And today, I wasn't here for a grand point or speech or anything. I just wanted to share some of my fun rambles about it. Because it's fun. Anyway, happy birthday, Doctor Who. Here's to another few years until British television doesn't have enough money to make you anymore. Whoops! And with that said, there you go. There's the thing I made. I don't know if you'll like it. If you do, then great. If you don't, then whatever. If I intend to make more, then there's probably links to other things here. And if there's not, well, then this is a bit of an awkward little ending. But, happy Doctor Who Day. Ugh. I think I probably should have scripted this part.